everybody, and welcome back to the Podcast of Death. Today I'm here with my good friend Robert Mangrum, and we're going to be discussing the Dalek invasion of Earth.
Yay!
It's very, very fun story.
Are you being sarcastic? Because some people actually think this is like a really good story, and it's really hard for me to argue because it's like iconic, but it's not. It's dumb and a bit boring.
I liked it upon first viewing, and then I didn't the second time round. But anyway, let's just jump right into the oh-so-memorable characters. There's one on this list that I can't even remember, so I'm going to remove him and just not talk about him at all. So now we have 3 characters to talk about.
Ooh.
David is our first one. I said that oddly. David is our first one.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember. I don't know why Susan left for him. She knew him for like 3 hours, and then she was like, I'm in love with the shape of you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but she didn't, I don't invite their romance at all. And David, what do I know about him? Like, he's living in London, and he has like no character. Oh my god, he's just like Clara. Oh my god.
He is. He's very much like Clara. The romance between... There's a romance between Susan and David, which and ends with the Doctor leaving Susan on Earth. If you haven't seen the story, I'm sorry I just spoiled it for you. But that romance is not... It doesn't work. It's not developed enough.
I just find it really funny that Hartnell got so sick of Susan he locked her out of the TARDIS and left her on Earth. That always makes me laugh.
Yeah. Alright, so next character is Dordum, who is since there's nothing more to say about David, he's just eh.
And I'm not sure if he's like over 18 or not, and that's kind of weird.
Isn't Susan supposed to be 16 at this point?
She's 15 or 16, I can't remember. She says something like in Marco Polo, like, there's Ping Cho. I don't remember it. Oh, but...
Yeah, but Dortmund, yeah, they're not even old enough to get married.
I know.
But anyway,
okay.
Dordum, or Dortmund, I'm not sure. I think it's Dordum, judging by how it's spelled. He's the guy in the wheelchair.
Oh, I love him. Actually, I don't love him. I mean, he's not the best. He's not.
Oh
great,
no,
but...
I love him. He's my favorite character in this entire story.
He's kind of like a professor guy, but he's like not. I just think he's funny, and that where the wheelchair scene, and then the running through the street scene while he's in the wheelchair and he's just clutching on his little bomb right there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he dies in like episode 3, doesn't he? So, I mean, it doesn't have much of an effect, but somehow I remember him the most.
Yeah, he's a very memorable character, probably because of the fact that he's one of the most developed characters, if not the most developed character in this story. He has a tiny little arc about, being an old guy in a wheelchair who wants to help the rebellion cause, but he can't, and in the end he sacrifices himself so that Barbara and her other friend, who we're going to get to in a second here, can get away, and it's just really fun to watch him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, he's not much, to be honest. I just think he's the most interesting character, and it isn't saying much, but I mean, at least they put a little bit of work into this one.
Yeah, I liked Dordum.
Yeah.
If the whole story was about Dordum, I think the story would have been better in my eyes.
Yes.
Fuck the David Susan stuff.
I know.
I want a spin-off series about Dordum.
Oh, wait, but he died. That wouldn't work. Oh no. Oh, like before he was like,
Yes.
I don't know, before that episode or
As the
something.
Daleks were invading Earth. We need a Dordum spin-off series.
He's probably like a crazy professor, and then like when like the Daleks invaded, he was like, "Oh, all of the smart people are dead. Let me invent things now."
The Daleks permanently paralyze his legs. They shoot him in the legs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wait, is that actually what happened?
no. But that's my theory of how he lost the ability to use his legs. It's the Daleks shot him in the legs. Kind of like how they did to Ian and the Daleks, but temporarily. For
Yeah, but
Ian.
this was permanent because he's old.
Not because he's old, it's just because they used maximum force, which they didn't use on Ian.
You really know your Daleks, Briar.
I do. The Cybermen are my favorite Doctor Who monsters, but for some reason I know more about the Daleks. It's weird.
It's because people don't ever do the Cybermen correctly, so it's really hard to learn anything about them when they're just around and like being done like robots or like I don't know, not Cybermen.
Yeah, there's probably you've got a
Oh,
point there.
oh look, we're not talking about Daleks.
Oh, we should probably get back to the lamest character in this entire story. You
Who's
thought
that?
you thought David was lame. Oh ho ho! Let's get into the lame bitch named Jenny. Oh my God! This is the. In case you don't remember, Robert, this is the girl who is sort of Barbara's little companion throughout the story.
Oh, on this one, yeah. All I remember her was kind of being a wet blanket. She was kind of like, he's dead, and I don't want to do this, and oh my God, Daleks are coming.
She
Like
was.
I don't know how she became like part of the resistance because she's just so useless.
Oh my God, she's such a useless bitch.
And then that I don't know. Whenever I think of her, I always remember that one scene where she's like, "Oh my God, look out, Daleks!" And Barbara's just like, "Sit back, we're going right through." And Barbara just runs over a Dalek, and she finally like sucks it up, and she's like, "Ooh, that was fun."
Well, the two scenes that really make me hate this character are in I think the third episode, maybe the second. But the first one is Jenny says something insensitive about Dordum not having any legs, and is a bitch about that. And then in the scene just before Dordum actually goes to sacrifice himself, Barbara's talking to Dordum about the Doctor because Dordum is interested in the Doctor. He wants to compare notes with him. And Jenny says something soul-crushing about the Doctor and Susan being dead, and just completely trying to destroy all of Barbara's hope. And she actually succeeds to the point where you can see Barbara is about to have a meltdown. What a bitch!
I don't even remember that. I barely remember anything.
Ah, she annoys me so much.
And I watched it yesterday, so
I'm gonna be honest with you, Robert. Past episode 3, after Dordum dies, I can never pay attention.
the only two things I really remember, or no, three things I really remember from this story. No, okay, I take that back. Okay, 4, and I'll stick with 4. Is one, the wheelchair chase scene through London where they're all like aiming at like Barbara's legs and everything with like drum music in the background.
It's not even good drum music. It's all over the place.
It's really dumb. And then the Daleks just look really weird in those shots, and you can't like tell where any of them are because they're not shot together. The second one is when Barbara runs over a Dalek, kind of self-explanatory. The third one is those women in the wood, who live in that house and like they rat out Barbara and Jenny.
Oh yeah, those
And
women.
And the fourth one is the one where the Daleks announce that they're actually going to try and like cause an explosion so they can pilot our planet like through the universe.
This show is really not this show. This story is really like The Walking Dead in that nobody is a good person. Why is everybody a dick?
I was gonna say nobody's a good person because we don't know anything about them. They're so undeveloped. Like, I'm looking on TARDIS Wiki right now, and there's a list of names of people I don't even ever remember like have in this story, except for like Jenny and David and the woman in the wood.
Jenny's a bitch.
That's why she.
David is
Nothing.
underdeveloped, and Dordom is the best fucking character ever.
That's saying something.
That's like 2 out of 3 are crap.
Out of the 3 that we can actually remember, and there's
like 5 more main characters in this story, too.
According to this, there's like 16 characters in the story.
What?
Yeah, that are actually credited, like, with names and things.
Oh.
It's weird.
I think... Well, no, I remember Craddock now.
Oh, and then there's an uncredited cast. That's a list.
Oh my god. The characters are shit. That's basically all you guys need to know. Alright, moving on. Moving on to the plot. Here we go. I'm reading
plot.
The plot. I'm reading my plot description of only paying attention to 3 episodes and the 6th one. The end of the 6th one. Alright, here we go. The Doctor and co. land on Earth and London in the future. They are surprised to find it is quiet. Too quiet. As this revelation is revealed, Susan decides to break her ankle and accidentally trap them in this time period. Damn it, Susan. The Doctor says something about slapping ass and goes to have a look around with Ian. While they're gone, Susan and Barbara are taken away by some people claiming to be rebels. And when the Doctor and Ian return to find they are gone, a wild Dalek appears! After an exposition dump that takes up the entirety of episode 2 for some reason, the story continues. There's a battle, a fuck ton of people die, Ian ends up on a Dalek saucer, Barbara ends up being separated from Susan and the Doctor. Susan and the Doctor reunite with another guy named David. After Susan makes it clear that she has the hots for David, the Doctor makes it clear that he doesn't give 2 flying fucks. The next couple episodes consist of a lot of traveling, a lot of terrible romance between David and Susan, and a lot of Daleks doing absolutely nothing before everybody meets up and decides, maybe we should kill the Daleks so they don't destroy the planet. And they kill the Daleks. At the end... I'm not done yet. At the end, Susan goes to say goodbye to David, and seeing their chance, the Doctor, Ian, and Barbara go into the TARDIS without Susan and lock the doors behind them. Susan yells, "Grandfather, let me in!" And the Doctor says, "Oh no, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I'm leaving you here where somebody will actually love you. Now kindly fuck off, my dear." And the story ends.
That's pretty much how I see it. Oh, you forgot the part where basically they cause a volcanic eruption that destroys the saucer. That's what happens. They cause a volcanic eruption in the middle of London.
So yeah, that's the plot.
That was the best plot synopsis I've ever heard, and it's accurate. That's the sad part is.
Now kindly fuck off, my dear.
And then Susan traps them for I don't know. I felt for the first episode for the first 10 minutes I can't stop laughing, and then there's just bits that are just so dumb I can't stop laughing, and the story just makes me laugh, and it's
What
not
is
good laughing.
what is the Dalek master plan in this story? We're gonna mine the Earth for minerals so we can pilot it or some shit like that.
But like they dig, and then they can like make it explode in the middle, and like make it,
a
like a
spaceship
rocket,
or something?
Like, yeah, pilot the planet around the universe.
Oh my god, that's so stupid. The worst part is in a Doctor Who novel called War of the Daleks, which is one of the only Doctor Who novels I've read. The Daleks do that to Skaro. So, the scene in Remembrance of the Daleks where Skaro is destroyed, it's not actually Skaro, it's some other planet that they piloted, they found and piloted in the sort of into the coordinates of Skaro, and piloted Skaro out of those coordinates.
Oh, so that way they could find a loophole, because when Moffat in two of his Dalek stories had Skaro on them, and I was like, wait, but there's no Skaro.
Yeah. So, it's not like this dumb idea was a one-time thing. No, people actually made this continue into other stories.
I mean, in the long run, it kind of sounds like a Dalek thing to do, but just the way it's done is just really, really stupid. And it's stupid that it's funny.
I think I've been angry for most of this podcast, haven't I? I've been less, I'm gonna banter with my buddies. I've been angry. The story is
first podcast I have.
The story is making me angry.
You know what else? There's actually a monster in this story called the Slither.
No, I remember that.
I watched it yesterday and I was like, wait, that was in here? I don't remember that being in here at all.
I always seem to forget about that thing for some reason.
Because it's in for like 4 seconds. It chases Ian and that other guy into the carriage, and then they go away.
Its roar is dumb too. It's literally something like, "Oh!"
It's Scooby-Doo monsters.
That's what it is! Scooby-Doo monsters make that sound!
It's true.
Wow! See, I can imitate the Slither. Oh, and the Dalek voices in this story are god-awful, too.
Some of them are terrible, but that was because, some of Peter Hawkins was originally supposed to do them, but he got, sick or something, so his voice wasn't working. I don't know. And then David Graham, filled in for him, and he did a shite job, indeed.
I don't think it's even that. It's the ring modulator was acting up or something, because
they sound like wait, who was the guy who played Davros in Destiny of the Dogs?
Michael Wisher.
No, Destiny.
No,
David Gooderman.
David Gooderson.
Gooderson. Oh, he voiced some of the Daleks in that one too, and they sound just like these Daleks. They're kind of strained, but they're not they just sound weird.
My problem with the Dalek voices in this story is they don't sound like they have the ring modulator effect on, so they literally just sound like some guy going, "You will move ahead of us. We are the masters of Earth." That sounds pretty lame.
You do a better job voicing them without a modulator than they are in this story, so...
That sounds pretty lame without a modulator. I'm gonna be honest. If I were using a modulator, it would sound more impressive. But...
It still sounded good compared to these. I know this story's really iconic, and literally after this, Season 2 became such a huge hit that it blew up Doctor Who, and they didn't have the same viewer ratings until the late 70s with Tom Baker. The Web Planet had the Web Planet, that's a very 60s story. It had a lot of views, but a lot of these stories were just watched, by a lot of people. And but this story is just awful. And considering people like in the '60s were like, "Wow, Daleks in London," they probably weren't even looking
Oh
at what the
no,
Daleks
no, I can
did in
see the
Texas.
appeal back then. I can see why it was good back then. It just doesn't hold up today.
I don't think it would even hold up in like the '60s if you're honest. To be honest, because like I mean, the reason people like it today is because, oh, the Daleks in London, and it's the first Daleks in London story, and it's kind of like, but when you look farther past, it's the Daleks in London, you see like this horrible, like directed piece of just TV with some really irritating music and lots of pointless little subplots, and it could have been shortened into like 4 parts, and the story would have been maybe not too much better, but it would have been at least interesting instead of just boring me out of my mind.
Yeah, it's weird because it's so iconic, yet most will agree it sucks.
Actually, no, there are still a lot of people who are like, "Oh, this is really good," and I thought Dylan would be one of those people who's like, "It's not that great," but he likes it, so it's. I'm alone. I'm glad you don't like it either.
Well, that's the thing. For a long time, I defended the Daleks invasion, or sorry, the Dalek invasion of Earth.
I hated it the first time I watched it.
And then upon trying to rewatch, I couldn't finish it. And on this rewatch, I couldn't finish it either. And because I was being more critical with this rewatch, I found all the things that made me not want to watch it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of how I watched Survival. Because, like, the first time I watched Survival, I didn't like it. Same with this story. And it's funny because I actually watched them back to back. And then the second time I watched Survival, I hated it even more. And I was like, oh, but I'm probably going to like those two stories better. So I watched them both again yesterday. And I was like, oh, God, they're awful.
What, Survival and the Dalek invasion of Earth?
Yeah, I don't like either of them. They're both really just bland.
Well, for all its camp, I do still like Survival, but Dalek Invasion of Earth, I can see why it's iconic, but it just doesn't do it.
This was literally sold on lunch boxes and like shirts and like cups and all sorts of things. And it doesn't matter if you didn't even watch Doctor Who. You had like I was reading this article about this lunchbox that came out, and like half the kids at school would have the lunchbox. It didn't even matter if they watched the story.
Oh, back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, when they were releasing the VHS tapes. No, it was like the 25th anniversary of the Daleks or something too. And they had a VHS of the chase and. Maybe it was the 30th anniversary. I'm not sure which. But you had a double VHS set of The Chase and Remembrance of the Daleks. Now,
oh, I have that one. Does it come in like a tin?
Mine didn't. But
oh, mine did. I have one. It's up on my shelf.
But the cover of that VHS cardboard box, it's not an or I should say, drawing or image from either of those stories. It's a Dalek in London. It's an image of a Dalek from the Daleks' invasion of Earth.
What?
Even though...
Mine just has a Dalek on it.
Maybe I'm misremembering. God, now I have to look it up.
No, because when I shopped for it on eBay, I think it looked like that, but it came in a tin. So.
But yeah, So the Daleks' invasion of Earth was really, really iconic. It isn't as iconic now, but it was in yesteryear, the days of yesteryear, I guess.
I just realized I need to throw out a lot of my VHS tapes. I need to throw out a lot of my VHS tapes because I hate half of the stories on them. Because they were stories I hadn't seen yet, so I bought them. So I have Time in the Ronnie and Paradise Towers. Those were my first two, and I hate those stories. I have a VHS of Time Flight.
Are you still sticking up for Delta and the Bannermen?
I'm not sticking up for it like too much. I'll give it like it's below average, but I don't hate it because
I like how we've got so bored with the topic of the Dalek invasion of Earth that we've just moved on to talking about VHS tapes and McCoy
it's
stories.
season 24 of all things.
Oh, season 24. That's a whole podcast in itself.
Oh, you should do that. I would so do that with you. That would. I hate that so much. Like, they all anger me for different reasons.
The only story you can even say is good from season 24 is Dragonfire.
I don't even think that's good. I think that's like.
No, it's not a particularly good story,
it's like
but
teetering on below average, but it's like just barely mediocre.
I think next would be Paradise Towers, and then Time and the Ronnie. Then of course Delta and the fucking Bannermen.
I can't tell if I hate Paradise Towers or Time in the Ronnie more.
My least favorite Doctor Who story is Delta and the Bannermen. I hate its
I
guts.
remember the Seventh Doctor used to be your favorite Doctor. I remember that. Back in the old days of Amno.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, the Dalek invasion of Earth is boring and crap, and no one should ever.
Yeah. It's quite shit, actually.
Oh my god, I have it on VHS too, and DVD. Why?
Oh, I wonder which VHS cover it is. Is it the one with the Dalek in front and Hartnell's face sort of superimposed behind it or something? With the Big Ben
I don't know.
beside
Let
it,
me
or
open this box because they're in like a box.
But yeah. Dalek Invasion of Earth. It's boring and lame. There's nothing more to say about it, really.
Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't. It has like a picture on like the actual VHS tape, but it's not like a cover. But let me look it up. Oh, yeah, it's the same image. It's the one of like, you know what I don't understand? On the DVD cover for the story in America, they have a photo of the Daleks like shooting at the Westminster Abbey. Like, it's not even. It's just a photo of them shooting at.
With Hartnell's face in front of it.
Yeah, but they're like shooting it, and the weird thing is the shot, like it's electricity, but it's coming out of their sucker.
What?
Yeah, it's really weird.
At least it's a better cover than the Region 2 one.
No, at least theirs isn't as stupid as the story is. Why is Paradise Towers in here? Oh my god, you know what? I give up.
All your DVDs are transforming. They're all transmogrifying into Paradise Towers.
I
want to watch Remembrance of the Daleks. It's Paradise Towers!
No, it was in the Dalek Invasion of Earth. Wait, then what's in the Paradise Towers DVD case? Let me see.
Anyway, I think it's time to end this podcast as it's gone way off track.
You should probably clip out that last part we did and let's just record an ending and just cut it off.
I'm too fucking lazy. Alright.
No. No, you don't even know what I put inside Paradise Towers.
What did you put inside Paradise Towers?
I don't know, but it's like a DVD, and it is one of the burnable DVDs, and on the top it just says shite, okay?
Shite, okay.
Yeah, I think I thought I lost the DVDs.
Shite, okay, and I think that is the perfect way to end this podcast.
Yes. Okay, I had
The Dalek invasion of Earth ranges from shite to okay at best.
Yeah.
It's not good. If you think it's good, I'm not gonna
It's
say there's something wrong with you because I liked it my first viewing. I'm just saying
Just watch
rewatch it a couple times and see if you still like it after that.
Next up, let's review Time in the Ronnie, ruining the McCoy era before it really even started. Kick.
Yeah.